I always try to give more and expect less, because that make me to a better person.
I have to be black and white. I've talked a lot about this in our show, but being black and white makes it a lot easier to find my own happiness.
I like to stay busy, and I haven't been bored in at least 20 years. I never bored, because I have a lot of things going on all the time. My head is, believe it or not, but it's still okay, yeah?
That is why the 101% formula works. If you throw yourself, if you go all in, and that's something I've done in every job that I've had, in every project that I've participated in.
Welcome back, everyone. Today's episode is about life reflections. Life moves fast, we chase goals, handle challenges, and get caught up in the daily grind. But when was the last time you paused to truly reflect? In this episode, we dive deep into life's lesson, the power of self-reflection, and how looking back can actually help you move forward. If you're ready to gain clarity, purpose, and a fresh perspective, let's get started. So I think a lot about thing in the life, and for me personally, freedom to decide my life is something that gives me so much pleasure, because I like it so much to can wake up every day and decide what I gonna do, when I gonna do it. And when we start this podcast business now and work about that, this helped me a lot there, because I have become my own boss, and then I can decide my day and my life. So that's great. Of course, I have to work much harder than if I was an employee with someone else. That's the downside, but the upside is that it is the freedom. I can eat breakfast with my daughter every day. I can drive she to school. I can pick she up to school. We can take a holiday when we want. So that's a huge freedom for me. So that's something I reflect a lot about. And I think about that for many, many years. And now I finally can do it. And but of course, we have to make this business successful, because if not, I have to go back to normal work again in the future. So I have to give it all. 101% we have to give it.
Definitely.
Another thing I think about in life is so important to have purpose in your life. And big purpose for me is to be a great father for my daughter. I want to teach her everything and make her ready for the life, and spend as much as and good time with she as I can. And also another purpose I have, is to build up this business, and start to earn money online, So I can travel a lot and live in other countries, And other purpose I have is personal development. It's so exciting. I have to work on myself all the time, try to become the best version of myself, learn, challenge myself, push myself, and learn new skills and new things. And it's so exciting, See how much we can get out of life. So, and also I reflect a lot about I always would like to try to be a amazing father for my daughter, great brother, great son, great human being, great friend. So that's one thing I reflect about a lot. And how can I be better about this? And I always try to give more and expect less, because that make me to a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And some other things I reflect about in life also is it's goals. It's so important that you have a lot of goals. Gonna be small goals and big goals. And these goals is for your future plan for in the long game. So everything we do now, every day, is creating your future self and your future life. So I think a lot about this one, and I often ask myself, okay, if I do this, will this take my life and my family life become better, or not? And if not, then I often choose to not do it, because I would like to create a better life in the future. So that's often a thing I reflect a lot about and think about.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you, Annika? What lesson have you learned in your life?
I think there has been many lessons through the last almost 27 years. There's been many lessons, and lately the last year, I've learned so much about myself, others, life, true values. And as you say here, it's so important to have goals, and you put your goals very close to your values, being a good father, your business, your personal development. And that is so important because our goals has to fulfill ourselves, our desires, our personal values, because if not, it's just a motivation and that comes and goes. But when it is something that stays really close to your heart, that's when you're going to give your all, 101% effort into just really fulfilling it. So that's something that I've learned a lot, that I need to be very direct with myself, honest with myself, and very directly in how I name the goals. What are my ambitions now? Why is that my focus, and how will I work with that? And the last year, we started this business to give information to others and also to develop ourselves further in our personal development journey. And that is something that I have been extremely happy about through the last few months, because running this business and talking so much about personal development, learning more about it and sharing more from our own life makes me reflect a lot more, being a lot more honest with myself, and then taking responsibility for the things that I have to. So when I stumble upon a challenge now, I say to myself that, okay, how am I going to solve it? And when will I do it? And I kind of put a timeline on it, because I cannot just go around in a situation and not be happy. So this has helped me a lot with kind of holding myself to higher standards, looking for my happiness, always searching for my happiness, because that's what it's all about. It's a very short amount of time we have on this earth. So if you go around and just take things for granted, even your happiness, you just put it on pause because, yeah, I can fix it later. And yeah, I can do that later. When is later going to be? Because you never know. All the time, life throws at you challenges and things that makes you forget, because your time is so precious and so valuable. And if you don't prioritize it on the things that are most important to you, something else will control it and something else will control you. So some of the most important things I've learned lately is that I have to be black and white. I've talked a lot about this in our show, but being black and white makes it a lot easier to find my own happiness, to hold myself to higher standards, and to do what is right for me, to investigate when I stumble upon an issue or a challenge. I investigate, okay, why does this not feel right? What can I do to solve it? So I think that is some of the most important things that I've learned, and also to just stay very steady towards my goals, have my ambitions very clear in my mind, know my values, and always remember my values in all cases, because that is the compass in how to solve challenges.
The other things I reflect a lot about is, for me personally, I like to stay busy. I like to have a lot of things going on, and I think about it. I like to stay busy, and I haven't been bored in at least 20 years. I
Mhm.
never bored, because I have a lot of things going on all the time. I have a lot of projects. This one I gonna do. This I gonna work on. So I never ever sit there and, oh, what should I do now? It never occurred anymore. And I remember when I was young too, I almost never ever was uh, bored. Only one time I was bored. I remember I take laser operation on my eyes, both of them at the same time, and then I hurt a little bit, and it was some 2 3 days I couldn't do anything. I didn't see TV or nothing. Then I can just sit and not do nothing. That was the only time I was bored, and that was around 20 years ago. So it's great. I think it's great. People is busy. People have a lot of things going on, because then you have more purpose in your life. And I also think a lot about, very grateful for many things. Grateful for I have an amazing daughter, a good family, good friends, and We are so lucky that we stay in a peaceful country where it's safe to go outside, and my head is, believe it or not, but it's still okay, yeah. And my body is good also, so I'm very happy for that. Yeah, my head and body is good, so it's absolutely thing you can be grateful for. You can walk outside, do things, and have a safe, great home, food on the table, things like this. It's things to absolutely be grateful for, and think about the other around the world, places where it is war, people who lie gonna sleep in the night and not sure they're gonna wake up again and lose a lot of people in their family. It's so very sad to see that in on Twitter and YouTube like this, and what happened around in the world and in places. So it's very sad. So we are very lucky, yeah, to can stay in this great country. And other things I think a lot about is always have to have a lot of things to look forward to, so you can be excited to, and have to be, look forward to things in the near future and also more in the future. For me, for example, yeah, next week if I'm gonna go meet a friend in a cafe and drink some coffee together, just small thing like this, I can be excited for about all week. Oh, this is gonna be good. Just relax from work a little bit, sit talk with a friend, laugh, and like this is great things. Other things, walk a trip in the mountain, in the nature, just look a movie with my daughter, or drive a trip on the car, listen to some music. So all the small things like this, yeah. So you can say, okay, this day we're gonna do this. And I'm excited for that. So it's great to make yourself anything you can look forward to. In May now, me and my daughter will go to Kristiansand to visit one of the top CEO in the 101 person podcast, Annika, and her husband Karim. And I'm so excited for that, and I've been excited for many months about
Mhm.
that. And I think about it almost every day. Oh, we're gonna go visit them, stay with them, go to the zoo, walk some trip in the nature, gonna get new experience and have good conversation. I get a lot of energy when I think about this. So just try to book and find a lot of those things in your life you can put.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited for that.
Mhm. So am I. We're waiting for you always with open arms. And it is so important to look forward to these things because it brings me a lot of joy. And I love spending time with you and your daughter. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. So this is, of course, something that brings me tremendous joy.
Good to hear.
And I've thought a lot about the meaning of life lately too. As everyone know, I did revert to Islam a few months ago this summer, and now I'm almost finished reading the entire Quran. I'm going to finish it today because very soon Ramadan is over, and it is a duty for every Muslim to gain knowledge. It is a duty to gain knowledge in your life. So I go to lectures, I read the Quran, I will start reading hadith, and the reason for that is because the truth has to be revealed. And in a society like we live in today, there's so many people that will affect you and will drag you in different directions. So you have to be true to yourself. You have to find the right way in life and you have to walk on that path. And to me, it is very important to reflect upon these kind of things. My circle, who do I spend time with? What do I spend my time on? What is my focus? Because eventually, if you always do the wrong thing, or sometimes do the wrong thing a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, it might eventually cloud your vision and it might take you further away from yourself. And I have a story to tell you that I really want to share with you because many years ago, me and Joakim went to a lecture together. You probably remember it. It was when your daughter was very young, and there was a person, she is running a big business in Norway where she teaches people working in kindergartens and from different kind of organizations that came there, but also to parents. So we just met up there to know more about children. the development that they go through from 2 to 5 years old, I think was the topic. And she shared an extremely touching story that has stuck with me for many years about a little boy that was, I don't know, 3 to 4 years old probably, in a kindergarten. And the people working there kind of hired her to come in and give them some tips because he was making so much trouble and it was so exhausting and all of these things. So on the day one, she just come to observe, and she sees how this boy comes in with so much enthusiasm, roars and jumps, and he's so happy coming into the kindergarten every morning. But then she sees how his enthusiasm kind of dies throughout the day. So she takes her notebook and starts writing one line every time someone stops his enthusiasm. If he jumps up on a chair and roars like a bear, they say, oh my God, now you have to go down and now you have to be quiet. And you see him kind of like all of his body language just dies a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And the next day she comes to work, the people say, oh, did you see how exhausting he was? And oh, it was so exhausting yesterday. He makes so much trouble. And then she tells them, yesterday I started noting down some lines throughout the day. In every time you met this boy, like a hard brick wall, he was enthusiastic. He's 3 to 4 years old. He has a lot of energy. But every time he does something, you crush like a wall against him and make him die a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And 47 times I marked this line. And the people in the kindergarten started crying, several of them, because they felt guilty. And I think that this story is something that I brought with me for so many years, because who are you to stop someone's enthusiasm? In a kindergarten, this boy comes like a light every single day with so much energy, and he has to use this energy in a good way, because if not, maybe it will be a lot of trouble inside of him, a lot of chaos. So it's a good thing that he can spread a lot of joy. But who are you to always say no, to always draw a line, to always tell someone that no, this is not right and this is not good? And then I think about, let's draw a line into society. Who shares for you? Who draws the line? Who lowers your enthusiasm? And who brings fuel into your fire? When I have doubts about something, I can call my brother and I can say, okay, for example, about this business, I can say, okay, how will we do this? How will we achieve this goal and this goal? And we have meetings every single week where we evaluate how long have we come and what is the direction from here. And then you're the person that fuels my fire. You have so much faith in us. So when I doubt, I need to call you. And then you are the one to help me through it, to put some fuel on our fire, to make me gain trust again. And it is so important that we all surround ourselves with these people and that we not get discouraged by all the limits that society puts on us. Because I think society is kind of made up to stop us, to not make us achieve. Let's say it's 1% of the world that achieves these things, but most people don't, because society limits you with how they build up everything, your life, the finances, the time, the systems, everything. So it is very important to break through from that and to have faith in yourself and to find your circle. Surround yourself with good people that have faith in you and share for others. Always give out a hand and be cheerful and be positive, because we need this in the world that we live in.
Yeah, great story. I have forgot this one, but when you start talk about it, then I remember a story. So it was a great and very good point. Yeah, absolutely. Not stop people. Yeah, just you have to try to find another way to do it for this boy. Yeah,
Definitely.
and I think it also same with the young children too. Yeah, when sometimes children is angry or a little bit sad or something, and we cannot. Oh, stop! You cannot be angry. You have to let the children get out their feelings too, and then we can talk with them and ask them. Because if every time adult people are angry, if someone gonna say, "Oh, stop! You cannot be angry," or you cannot be sad, then I never get out my feelings. So that's so important with children. Yeah, we have to let them get out their emotion too, because they have the right also, same as we, as all.
Definitely, extremely good point, and so valuable in parenting, because if you don't accept their feelings and you don't even make room for it, they will not accept their feelings and then they will not accept themselves. And with these kind of hard limits, when you don't acknowledge their feelings, you bring a lot of shame into them.
Absolutely. They and they start to not believe themselves. So this is so important point. So I'm so happy you told that story again. Yeah.
Definitely, because it is a lot about self-worth. You have to have your feelings, they have to be accepted, you have to learn how to deal with them. And if you are very enthusiastic, the people around you should be more acceptance for
Hmm.
it.
Absolutely. So another thing I think about, it's try to fill up your life with new and great experience. So for example, yeah, travel is great for me. Travel around in the country or just in the near area also, and do something I not do every day. That's great. And I get new experience, and I also get new stories so I can tell other people, and then I get a more exciting person. So you do one thing and it leads to more things. So that's great. Create new experience and story for yourself.
Mhm.
And also so important, you have to believe in yourself and go for it. Start the training martial arts. Go for that new job you would like to do so long time, but you have been scared to try. Move, live to a new place. You can travel. And two great lessons I have learned in life is I was on a webinar 7-8 years ago, and one lady, she works as an accountant, and she told the best advice she ever got in her life was just start. Was it? Just start. That's the best advice she ever got. Because so many people, me included too, many times, I have to do this first, and this have to be okay before I can do this, and I have to know so much, I have to learn so much. But then it's same as you procrastinate, and if you do that for a long time, you will never start. Or
Mhm.
everything, if everything gonna be perfect first, you never start. So just start, she say, and then
Mhm.
you can learn on the way. And that's a great advice I have take with me. And another great thing I learned after we start this podcast, I have learned that I can achieve so much more than I thought I could. Because after I have learned me so many new things I didn't know how to do, and it have been so many difficulties, so much stress, but I just keep going, and believe in myself and speak positive thoughts, boost my confidence when I achieve it. So everyone can achieve so much more in their life than they think if
Mhm.
they just start.
That is so true. And I think that is a great advice, because what is preventing us? That is oftentimes the fear of failing or the fear of a tremendous workload. But you just have to start, because oftentimes we look at it as a mountain and we don't even want to start. But as soon as you have started, you're on the path, you're on the way there. So things will go easier.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And other thing I think a lot about, I always hunt for the small moments, small great moments that you have it's good feelings in your body. You get the dopamine drip.
Mhm.
So I talk about it many times, and I very like to walk the trip, especially in the nature, and I see those beautiful sunsets. The sun go down in the ocean. I see orange, pink, purple, blue heaven. It's so beautiful. That give me some dopamine drip inside. And I remember almost 13 years ago, was in a rehab in the city, and I used to take bus from Ireland to the city every day and back. And one day after a long day, I was very tired, because when you are in therapy, group therapy, it's hard, because start a lot of emotion and process in your body. Yeah? So someday you are actually very drained, and you go, and after you finished, your head keeps spinning. Yeah. So then I sit back behind the bus, not so many people inside it. I sit all alone all the way behind, put on some good music on my earphones, sit relaxing. I look out the window. It was raining, and it was a lot of raindrops in the windows, and it ran down, and it was so beautiful. I have a very good song, and these beautiful raindrops, and I see a little bit sun behind the sky also. So it was a great moment. So I hunt for those small moments all the time, and if you start to hunt for them, you will find them everywhere.
That is so true. And creating those by going out in the nature as often as you can is so important. Creating those moments in the daily life. You don't need a summer holiday or a special kind of holiday to do that. You can do it on a very normal Monday evening. And you should take your children out and create these kind of experiences together with them.
Absolutely, and it's free. It don't cost you a dollar, nothing.
Nothing.
Just go out and do it.
Definitely.
Only thing it costs you is a little bit effort
Hmm.
and energy, but you will get much more energy back when you've done it, because you will feel so great after you come inside again.
That is so true. And think about your priorities. What is the most important thing for you throughout the day or throughout the week? And if this is on your priority list, you will find a lot of moments that you can capture like this. And it's not even difficult. It demands extremely little effort if it is something that you are determined to achieve. And it is so important to not have one foot here and one foot there. For me, I've talked about this earlier in the show again, but I will repeat it because it's so important. If there is a big gap between your values and what you desire to be, how you desire to be, how you feel, and what you actually do, this gap will create a chaos and a lack of self and the feeling of unhappiness. This is my view on it. So if there is a gap between your values and what you actually do and how you prioritize your life, there is a gap that will create unhappiness. And to me, that is why the 101% formula works. If you throw yourself, if you go all in, and that's something I've done in every job that I've had, in every project that I've participated in everything that I'm determined to do, in every goal that I've had, I feel like I have the need to go all in, both legs in, jump in, head first. Because if I have one leg here and one leg there, it is this kind of inner war within me. That's why I had a big need to quit my job, to go to Thailand, one-way ticket, because these kind of things symbolizes what I need. I needed an ending and I needed a new start. And that's what was necessary in my life. And that's how I got further on in my career and in my life, in the new chapters in my life. So I think sometimes we just have to dare to jump in and to not always cling to what's safe and sound and the comfort zone, because the growth starts outside of the comfort zone. So what are you so afraid of? What would it cost you to leave what is safe for a little bit, to just try going all in if you really want another job, but you don't even apply for another job because you have a job here and you know the people and you know the thing? Yeah, you do. But if you get a no in the interview, you still have that job. So you don't lose anything, but you have the chance of really opening up new doors in your life.
Absolutely. Just go for it.
Mhm.
Just start.
Just start.
And other things that is important for me in life, I work all the time to try to feel good. And how can I do that? I training a lot. Now for those days, I try to train at least 3 to 4 times every week. And beside that, I walk trips. I take care of my nutrition. I eat healthy food, and I have work on my sleep. try to go to sleep and wake up at the same time every morning, and do a lot of other tricks that we have in episode 41, how to improve your sleep. A lot of great advice if you have problem with your sleep or you just want to improve your sleep. I recommend to check out that episode. Mindfulness, I relax, thinking, little bit meditation. So that's a thing. So I do so improve my life, and I very like to have good and real conversation with people. It's so interesting to hear story from people and discuss and talk about real things. And of course, I love the funny conversation with my friend. So good to sit with your boys and tell good story and have a good laugh. That's great for me. And another thing that drives me so much is the 101% podcast, because it's so exciting to build up this one, try to improve on all the areas. And this is a real purpose, yeah, and it's so fulfilling to work with this. Always try to be better on all the area. So now it's 4 things now, yeah, we work about. So we're gonna for make this podcast better for you guys. Is we have to become better to communicate. We have to be better to entertain. We have to become better to tell stories, and we have to make more episode like today without script. So this is four big things, yeah, we work about, and it's a lot of small thing also, yeah. And you have another aspect. We have to promote our podcast, try to get it out as too many people as possible, and a lot of other things too. But this is the 4 things we do to get the episode better for you. And also we have to work a lot, learn us new things all the time, and so. But that's it's very fulfilling and exciting. And I think about the things we and you do now is creating your future life with all the things you do. So choose wisely, my friend.
And we write a lot about this in our newsletter as well, that we send out every week, because in addition to posting an episode every Tuesday and every Friday, we think it's very important to start the weekend right. So every Monday morning at 5 a.m., you will get an email into your inbox with some wise words to kick off the week in the right way. So please sign up to this in our webpage, the 101percentpodcast.com, as we will link to in below as well, because it is very important what you fuel your brain with. How do you start the week? What do you think about? And what are your goals? And you are the captain of your own ship. Where's your ship headed? You have to know this, because if you just go into a boat and you don't even know where to end up, it can be in all kinds of continents, you know? So you have to map it out. You have to plan it. And I think that this is one of the very, very most important things that people in general have to think about, because I think many people go in a direction, just go in a speed without knowing in which direction. You don't know where you end up, you don't know where you're going, and then you lose sight of where you want to go. So, number 1, you have to know yourself. Who are you? We talk a lot about this in episode 54 as well, about ego. You have to discover yourself. Who are you? What are the different parts of your personality telling you? And then you have to investigate, where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve in life? How will you achieve it? Who's going to help you get there? What is not going to be helpful for you to get there? What are you going to eliminate? What are you going to spend more time with? What are you going to fill your mind with? How will you educate yourself? Who will you listen to? Who do you give power in your life to educate you about something? These kind of things is extremely important to answer. And if you sit down and ask yourself these questions and dig deep within yourself, you will find a lot of answers that will guide you in the right direction. And then you can keep on going with your personal development, with building your own business or going to work, doing the best you can, having a good family life, a good relationship, good relationships with your friends. But you have to ask yourself these kind of questions first.
Other things I think about in life is the life is too amazing that it gonna end when we die. I believe it's a new life after that. So for me personally, I'm a Christian and I believe in God, and that's make me grateful every morning. And I used to pray and read in the Bible, and I do the same at night too. Yeah, read in the Bible and pray and thanks for a lot of things. So that absolutely make me to a better person. I became more calm, get more peace in my mind, became more tougher. So to believe in God for me, I've been very great for my life, and I have done it so long time, but I haven't been public about it before we started this podcast. But I promised God that if I can sell my apartment, yeah, and start this podcast business, I will be more public about my belief and speak more about it. And yeah, I sell my apartment, and I quit my job, and then I just talk about it many times. We're not gonna discuss so much religion in this podcast, but just tell a little bit sometime about my belief. So, and it's so important for everyone, yeah, to have something in their lives they believe about, so it's bigger than themselves. So I recommend everyone to check out some religion and find out what you like, because it's great to be thankful for the life and for many things, to something that is bigger than you, a force. I believe that Christian is the right one. A lot of great values, amazing. If you do many things as stand in the Bible, it's you become a great person. But also in Islam, as Annika say, many great and good things also. Many good rules and things you're gonna do, so make you to a better person. And I do not know so much about the Buddhist, but I know it's a very peaceful and beautiful religion as well. So absolutely check out some religion and start to get a stronger faith. And everyone, as Annika just mentioned, yeah, is their own captain on their own ship. You are the captain on your own ship, and you take it to where you want to go. And everyone is responsible for their own happiness and to get most out of their life. So start today. Do what you want and create the dream life for yourself, because you are the captain.
And if you go 50%, you might miss because something gets in the way and then you achieve 30, 20. But if you go 101% in, that means giving everything. You go as the best you can and beyond. You do everything to hold yourself to the higher standards, to give yourself what you deserve, to create the best life you possibly can. Then you will be happy. So this is a recipe for success of your own good, for your own well-being. It is extremely important because you have only this one life. And as Joakim mentioned, there is a life after. And this is all just a test. So how well will you pass this test? What will you do in the very short amount of time that you have on this earth to pass it and to create a life that you are happy about? So go all in, give it a 101%, and give it your very, very best, because you owe it to yourself and you deserve it.
This episode was recorded March 28, 2025. In the show note, you will find a link to our homepage, the 101%podcast.com. It's an amazing webpage. I recommend you to check it out. I guarantee you will like it. Where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter. A great one. Annika has sent it out now 13 times, and every Monday morning I see it. I am tired, not so motivated, and after I read it, I am get very motivated and get a lot of energy, and it's ready for the day. So it's super good motivation. So I recommend everyone to sign up. And also you can donate to our podcast, and all the information about subscription you need on our webpage. Take care of yourself, educate yourself, take responsibility of your own life, and give it your best. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. It is important for us to get out our message so we can help as many people as possible. And we will highly appreciate it if you could take 1 minute of your time to follow us on social media and review the show on Apple Podcast and Spotify. All links are below. Our Instagram is the 101% podcast. until next time, take care and go 101% into achieving your goals. You owe it to yourself.